Jonathan in Columbia, how are you?
Hi, fine, thank you. I like cursing, by the way, so don't feel too bad.
Well, we do try to limit it, but it's become kind of a meta discussion today. So I'll ask that we make attempts to limit it so that the show's at least approachable by most people.
Well, I won't curse, so
what's up?
I just wanted to know if you guys, despite being atheists, I'm one myself, if you ever rely on things that are irrational just to feel okay or have comfort. And I'll tell you why I'm asking. I'm Jamaican. I was watching the Miss Universe pageant last week, and Jamaica was a favorite. We got to the final two, which was Jamaica and Mexico. And in the pageant world, they believe two things. If in the last two you're standing on the right, chances are you're going to win. And also, if you are called first into the top five, chances are you're going to lose. So I'm sitting there, my heart is pounding hard, heavy, and I look at the Jamaicans on the right-hand side, so that's one. And they call the other contestant first, so that's two. And I felt my heart slow down, and it was very noticeable, and I really did feel better. By the end of the night, Jamaica lost, so clearly that wasn't, rational for me to think in the first place. But it did make me feel better. My heart rate did slow down. I did feel a bit better. So my question to you guys is there ever a time when those things happen to you? You know it's not rational, but it makes you feel better.
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
And when I catch myself doing it, I try to stop.
Me too.
Yeah, the other thing is what you're talking about may not necessarily be irrational.
Yeah.
It may be that we don't have evidence to support it, but it's possible that the positioning or the order of name calling actually represents some subconscious bias. And we already know, for example, guys in the magic world know that if you put down a handful of cards in a particular order, we can predict with a pretty high degree of certainty which one's going to get picked based on its position and its value color with respect to others. For example, people don't tend to go for the ends or the middle as much as they do tend to go for one off. And it's because of what's actually taking place. It's because I'm trying to trick you, and I'm trying to trick you, and on some level you want to participate, and on some level you want to counteract that, so you don't necessarily go for the obvious. So there are subtle little psychological things like that that may betray a trend that would then be relevant to that. My thing is, I agree with Jeff, there may in fact be irrational things like that I occasionally depend on, but the second I realize that I'm doing it, I attempt to correct myself. And I think that's one of the things that we use to identify good skeptics.
Yeah. I mean, we're evolved to be pattern recognition machines, and the downside is there's a lot of things that seem like patterns that aren't necessarily all that significant, but our brains react to them anyway. So you have to educate yourself in how to tell the difference between things that are patterns that are likely to actually be relevant and patterns that aren't. And then you know.
Well, now that he says that, because I watch patterns all the time, and as far as Miss Universe goes, we always realize that the person who ends up winning is either called in the second position in the final five or in the top 15. They're out in the first five or the last five. The girls in the middle never end up winning. It just never happens that way.
Okay. Well, I don't have the data in front of me. I'm sure somebody dug through the data and made this public that all of a sudden the Miss Universe pageant might notice this and change the way they're doing things.
But unless you know of a mechanism that causes it to be that way, something about the way the rules are structured or the way the process is carried on, that results in that outcome, it could be just coincidence that so far that is how it has happened.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yep.
So.
Well, that was my question.
All right, thanks,
cool.
Jonathan.
Thank you guys for listening.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thanks very much.